I don't know if you even have the film of like that last play of the game.
I can pull it up. I can pull it up.
Because I want to kind of talk about that a little bit too.
Hmm?
But we're going to go discuss this, and I'd really like to open up the airwaves a little bit. Okay. I don't know if y'all said, if y'all watch my tweets, I sent a tweet out about Chris Jones. Okay. I know our guy Farzine has sent something out, and the question was, this is a safe space, right? How do we feel about Chris Jones is the question. And I was like, or what are your thoughts on Chris Jones? I was like, what are my thoughts on Chris Jones? I'm like, wow. Well, I'll tell you what I tweeted. So I said, the best defensive tackle in the NFL, point blank, period. And he's our guy. Sack Nation 1,000%. I said, let's speak truthfully and have a seat. The man has been double to triple team, held repeatedly, play after play, without it ever being called, and he still wins. Now, the reality here, okay? That treatment probably has worn him down. Not an excuse, but that type of attention can take its toll, and I believe that it has. The Chiefs didn't address getting another dominant, true defensive tackle beside him in free agent or the draft until this year. So we got Norman Lott, right? We got Gelati, of course. But I said that's a big part of the problem, and it has been. And so, Marcus, I've been one of those on this show for the past few years. They've been screaming. We need to partner somebody up with Chris Jones on the other side to be dominant. Now,
we wanted 2 or 3 guys in this draft.
At least 2 or 3 guys, at least. Nothing taken away from Turk when he was here. The guys, Big Mike. Mike had a role what he played in. We ended up getting rid of him. But as far as another guy, big body dude to give you something inside, we just haven't done that. I just can't understand why we haven't. Okay. Norman Lott and Ashton, those 2 guys are going to develop. Okay. It's going to take them a little time to get to where they need to get to. They'll help out. I also talked about this. I said, we finally have some young talent that is developing, but it'll take a little time. Switching up Gelati and Amenahu, who had a great game, by the way. And Amenahu was another one of those guys, after he got hurt, it kind of slowed us down. And Amenahu being able to be versatile, moving in and out, helped out us immensely. But I think Amenahu's starting to get back into where he needs to be, physically in shape. I see it this game. And I'm like, okay, he looks different than he did the first few weeks. And so sometimes your knee just takes a turn. And I think he's starting to get where his body is conditioned to play the way he needs to play, getting back into it. But he had a good game this game. I said, when they switch up inside, it helps until Noel gets back. Now, zero excuse for the no hustle play. He knows that. But CJ makes everyone out here better and their job a lot easier. That is a fact. The fact that you have Chris Jones, who has been, and they said PFF, through PFF's grading system or whatnot, they have the whole the Venn diagram of how they do things. And Chris Jones is all the way up in the corner, double team, but not only just double team, but winning. He's almost in the stratosphere. He's in a whole area of himself. That's what Chris Jones has been for us. So he's still the best. I have full confidence Chris Jones will turn it around, put my money on CJ more than anyone else at that position in NFL. That is absolute fact. I will take my money today and I'll put my money on 95, okay, to be dominant, because that's what he does. He's dominating every single game. He has been doing it for the past few years. It was always him and Aaron Donald as the best defensive tackles in the league. Not even close. Not even close. Other people could talk about whoever else, man, but when Chris decides to dominate, coming through double teams, being held, I'm talking about held every single game around the waist, and they don't call it, all right? So this is not a cry. This right here is an observation that they just don't even make these calls on him. And he still wins. He still comes through there. And it's really unfair to him. But somebody has said, well, somebody else is one-on-one with the guy. Absolutely they are. So they got to win. That's what it's about. It's about winning your battles. Excuse me. Chris is almost doing the job of 2 guys, two men, play after play. Okay. So if I decide to give Chris a little grace for that last play, uh, hey, he knows he needs to do it. I would tell him, hey man, you gotta hustle on this play. You can't take that for granted to think everybody's gonna get him down, right? That's the one thing that you tell him is you can't take that one play for granted. You go all out on that one play. If you know what it's supposed to be for that one, you're supposed to give it your all. Okay. And so he didn't. He didn't. And so there was that moment. But it doesn't diminish everything that he's done here with the Chiefs. Doesn't diminish anything as far as what that man has done here. So that was my thoughts on Chris Jones, right? You're standing around. I don't know, because it looked weird because Tranquil comes in and almost like takes this over. So I don't know if they was running like a fire zone split, a blitz. Fire zone is when guys back out, almost from a defensive tackle, defensive, and that's what happens. A lineman drops. So was this something that they would try to run? Dropping Chris? Not sure. But the thing is, there's one guy on his legs, another guy on his legs. Okay. He gets through there. Now, if Chris is hustling all the way across there, he may get him, he may not. We don't know that. But still, that should be, without a doubt, that should be him going out all out, full speed for this. Okay. It should be. No question about it, right? I don't think anybody questions that. He doesn't even question it. So I had people responding to me, oh, well, I wanted him to take accountability. In his press conference, he's like, hey, we need to make the play. We need to do it. So I don't know if people want a letter of apology from Chris. I don't know what they expect, him to say, like, okay, take accountability. Is that going to save our feelings? Are we going to feel better about that play? It isn't. It's not going to make us feel any better. We know, especially if we have seen historically in the past what Chris has given to this team. We know this. Okay. So I don't need no apology from Chris. Not at all. And I'm one of those guys as a coach and as a player. I like dudes that hustle every single play. And I love guys that don't hustle. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a few moments, a few snaps out here that it wasn't Chris. I see it happens almost every play from different people that made loaf on a play. I looked at one. I remember I was going to send you something because I watched, what's his name? The number one wide receiver they got down there with the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, Ted McMillan?
Yeah. And I watched him come off the ball, and he didn't even come to try to block his guy. Not even an attempt. Not even an attempt. And so that's indication on those teams. And I don't know if somebody pulled him aside and say, hey, man, what are you doing? You only run when you're about to get the football? Because that's not the way it should be. Now, there's somebody on our team that did a loafing offense that, shoot, we could have probably almost had a touchdown. I'm not sure. But I see that a guy didn't give it all out to go block. But we didn't call him out. So there's things you can pull out here and there, almost practically every play, Marcus, on the football field. But, it's Chris Jones. We hold him accountable, as it should be, as we should do. And Chris holds himself accountable. So I don't have to do it. I know he's going to get on himself with this. Okay? So I know he's kicking himself like, hey, daggone, I should have gave. We can't assume anything on these things, right? As a defensive player, and he says it himself, we can't assume that the guy is down. We got two guys on him. We can't think that, right? So that's how I think. That's what I think about Chris Jones. Chris Jones still the best defensive tackle in the league. Now, here's the thing. The numbers and stuff like he's had this past year hasn't been that. All the years prior to that, he's always been the best defensive tackle. That's where he's been. Bottom line, period. And I said this before, and I say it again. I keep saying that. Chris needs some help inside. He needs some help. And as a leader, we should be able to give him some help. I don't think there's nothing controversial about any of that whatsoever to give him some help. And that means you got to get some out of the guys that's in there. And I love Charles was there because Charles showed he can do it, right? Same thing. Karlaftis, hey, we need him to turn the corner, to get up there, to make sacks, to do all those different things. Those things have to happen. We got to see it from everybody. Hey, we ask Superman to always come save us. Come save us, Superman. Come save us. And the whole time, Superman even need a Justice League, don't he?
He does, yeah.
I mean, at times, Superman like, hey man, I need, hey, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, whoever wants to be, Aquaman, where you at?
Hawkman.
Hawkman, could I get you here for this one? I might need Ed Hamble, whatever it is. So those things like that, man, it's, and that's just these things. When we see it, it looks bad because it is bad. Okay. But I just the question of what we think about Chris Jones and the people that's piling on, I'm like, man, this is piling on Tuesday. Not like that, God. Pal on it. So
what do you make of him deleting his social media? You saw that, right? Like he deleted his Twitter and his Instagram.
I heard he did. I mean, maybe he just want to focus up, man. He wanted to get away from all that noise. That's noise. That's the noise. And I said that earlier in the year. If we can get past the noise to just go play, we will be fine. Okay? And that's eliminating the noise. You don't need to hear none of that. Eliminate the noise. Get away from it. Pat said it. Like, hey, man, well, you use it as motivation, but you could get it could reel you right in. It could reel you right in.
That's what Tyquan Thornton said a few weeks ago about that same thing. That's how toxic it is and how it can really suck you dry.
Tyquan Thornton lived it. He knows. Part of the reason he wasn't as good up there in New England is because you start looking at the noise. That's what you listen to. Part of the reason I'm sure Scott Moore is out of here when he's listening to the noise, and you hear from everywhere. You can't even sneak on Twitter. People try to use their aliases to come on, and that's just what it is. It's a whole toxic field because all the yahoos come out and say whatever they want to say, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's got a voice. We know that. So
yeah, I mean, the funny thing about it is it's like it's such a toxic culture about like people just use social media to like troll on players. We get trolled for defending players. So can you imagine what those players that we defend are getting if we're getting trolled for defending players? I mean, it's just so crazy. And for us defending players, we get trolled. And then imagine what their inboxes and DMs and notifications look like after games. Oh, right? Man.
Yeah. I think I got somewhere like 10,000 followers. And these jokers got thousands. It's
nuts.
Hundreds of thousands. And be honest with you, I ain't worried about no troll coming to me, for real. I've been able to get, say what I need to say, and move on. And I might address a couple of them. Some I don't mind getting down with. I crack my break. Let me get out these couple of jokers real quick. Sometimes it feels good. A little frustration. Oh, you don't say, huh? You don't say? All right. I'll tell you what, I got something for you. All right, you wait right there. And sometimes I'll tweet some stuff out and then I'll erase it. Like, what's the point?
Right, yeah.
Hey man, look, this builds character. We understand it. Sometimes you need a rocky road to get where you need to get to, right? It don't have to be the easy climb all the time. I'm not saying it's easy every year, but sometimes we win in fashion we expect to win. And we expect to win every single year of this year. Okay. And like I said, we just haven't pulled out the tough games. There's 3 of them. We easily be 5-0 right now, Marcus. Easily.
Yeah.
Turn here, turn there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because the Chiefs have already set the bar so high for us, everybody always expects, and we all expect that. Heck, the players expect that. Sure, they expect it more than we do to be great. They don't do it. Oh man, hey man, all that noise. It's noise. So, and I'm giving it from a player's perspective. How much you don't hear, what you need to stay away from. Because if you're losing a lot, you can find if a guy's giving it his all and where he's at with it. You really can. You can tell if a guy's taking, he's really not with you. Okay, he's not bought in all the way. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about Chris. Anybody else on this team doing that? Not at all. So uh, we've seen offensive line get better. We've seen some other guys get better individually. Love to see it. And so we just got to continue to get better and grow together. That's what it's all about. But these lumps early, I think is a good thing for us. Okay. Let's go on and get it figured out. Like everybody's on one accord. We know what we got to do, what we need to fix. Okay. And if some things bear this ugly head, good. Deal with it right now. That's the way to speak. But I guarantee nobody in that locker room is splitting off of one another. I heard somebody say, "Oh man, the Chiefs are fighting." What? They're not fighting each other. What are you talking about? They will hold each other accountable. They know how good of a team they are. So sometimes you can have those conversations and talk. At a certain point, enough's been said. You just got to go and take care of business. I think that's where the guys are right now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.